I know. I feel like this one needs to be called something having to do with velvet.
Operation
Velvet
Marks.
Robes. Velvet Rose. Operation
Velvet Rose.
That sounds like it is a romance title.
That is a romance novel.
What do you think the cover looks like?
It's red, but like a deep, deep red.
And there's like, no, it looks like a satin. It's like it's a rose with like the satin where it looks like
the Beauty and the Beast
Or there's
rose.
like a woman, or there's a woman with like a hood, like a druid.
With a rose.
Yeah, with a rose.
With a rose when they're looking down.
Yeah, and in the background there's like the Highlands.
In the background there's crystal balls.
Crystal balls.
Everywhere.
So I'm Jenna.
And I'm Jess.
We don't introduce ourselves often.
But we thought we should.
We said, does anyone even know our names?
I don't know. So I was like,
does anyone even know who we are?
Yeah. I was like, because when I listen to podcasts, I like to know who's talking.
Yeah. Now you know.
Now we have a name.
So we have a little bit of business. Oh, first, happy Galentine.
Happy Galentine.
It is February 13th for us. It will be the 14th for you. So happy Valentine's. If you do not extend your Galentines into the 14th.
Yes.
Day to celebrate female friendship.
I think so.
And waffles, according to Leslie Knope.
Ooh, perhaps a heart-shaped waffle. Too much?
Don't get crazy.
Too much? All right. Felt that. Right when it came out of my mouth, it felt too much. I was like, let me take that back.
Who do you think we are?
Let me take that back.
So I have some business first to take care of besides Happy Galentine's Day. First, I want to give a shout out to Stella.
Stella!
On Instagram. She had sent us a message confirming. So remember back in Yoga to the People, all of episode like 2 or whatever, we were talking about the donation boxes being tissue boxes. And you were like, is it a regular tissue box? And I was like, no, I think it's like one of those like wooden ones. She said, no, they were actually paper, cardboard,
like
tissue
literally
boxes.
The ones that you like rip the
yeah, the
off.
Kleenex cardboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so crazy.
It was even, I don't know, maybe Stella can tell us if it was like, you know, like one of those like you buy them at like a supply.
Yeah.
Or if it was like from Costco or something. I don't know. Or maybe it was Kleenex brand. I doubt it was a Kleenex brand
it's probably
name.
like off-brand.
Not even Kirkland. It was like a
Kotex. I'm just kidding.
Kotex?
Do they make? I don't know. I don't know. I think about cardboard and then I went straight to Kotex.
Kotex. That's a whole different kind of yoga studio.
Tissue.
And then also Christine, doTERRA Christine, she had said she was listening to Buddha Field and then she watched Holy Hell. She said that she heard that Joe Rogan bought the One World Theater. Because remember, he's got that like anti-woke comedy club now. So I guess he tried to buy the One World Theater.
What?
Yeah, where they all were like doing ballet and stuff, and it ended up falling through. Someone else bought it, and now it's like a venue for like weddings and community performances and dances and stuff. You could just like rent it.
But what the actual? I had no idea.
Yeah, he definitely tried to buy it.
Okay, Joe.
But he did not.
Yeah, fell through.
It fell through.
Okay, Joe.
I know.
Anti-woke.
So those
That's
were
wild.
like 2 random things that related back to old episodes that I thought I would share.
That was cool that they reached out.
I know.
I like this.
Same. So today we are talking about rose marks. And this is like a Valentine's Day-ish episode because it deals with romance novels and love and fraud.
Oh, sprinkle a little bit of the fraud.
The fraud. So this has a trigger warning for suicidal ideation. So be warned, that is involved later in the story. Actually recording in the morning, not at night.
And
so we're
halfway through coffee, not even full way. So.
Yeah, we're not full through coffee, but we'll see how this goes because we're not tipsy, but we are tipsy with the freedom of having no kids.
We both called in.
And no work. We both called in.
We're playing hooky.
I know.
I love it so much for us.
Same.
It's like a high I forgot about.
Yeah. Me neither.
It's- It's like, you know, like when you like ditch school and your bed feels like so much more comfortable because you should be at school, but you're in bed. This is like that much more exciting because we should be at work, but we're here.
I know.
I love
We're
it.
here.
I love it.
We're here in our ice box.
In
Actually,
our
it's pretty
ice
warm.
box.
We have
Yeah.
blankets now.
We've got blankies. We got some Baja blankies. And no, I'm cozy.
Yeah, I am cozy too.
I'm drinking a nice coffee.
Oh, okay.
Always.
You're crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so across from the world-renowned Plaza Hotel. Do you get that reference?
No.
It's a Home Alone reference.
Oh,
would get it.
Oh, yeah. Wrong Galimba. Wrong Galimba. Okay, know your audience.
And if anyone is wondering, the world-renowned Plaza Hotel has not been owned by Donald Trump since 1995. I did look it up because
Okay.
I was like, bleh, does he still own that? Anyway, so across from the Plaza Hotel is a small shop, or was a small shop, with a sign that read, Laws of Attraction, guided by psychic Joyce Michaels. Walk-ins welcome.
Psychic? This is a psychic episode?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you have to share your psychic situation, by the way.
do.
But not like right now. Go ahead. And we don't have to use names, but
No. But so there's a few psychics that worked there, and it was this cozy little shop, and most people would spend about like $50 for a palm reading or a birth chart reading. But one type of customer in particular piqued the interest of the psychics working in the shop. Sad women.
sad women.
Sad women.
Yeah.
So sad women come in going through heartbreak or illness or loss, and they'd be looking for answers or for hope that everything was going to work out. And these women wouldn't get a $50 palm read, but instead would get the psychic's full attention. Then they would say, I can help you, but I need a personal item that I can pray or meditate on, and then come back tomorrow and I will return it. So they give an item.
Okay.
And they're relieved the next day to see the item returned and have this new kind of trust built into the psychic.
Okay.
They're like, okay,
Actually.
I'm going to get, like, they did follow through. They gave back my item. So they return the item and they place this bomb, or like they drop this bomb, right?
Oh, I'm like, what's
They
happening?
place this bomb. Girl,
Yeah.
I'm
Sip.
sip on my coffee. Okay, so while they're meditating, they say that they discovered that the client was cursed in a previous life, and to fix it is totally free, but it would require a sacrifice, and not like a human or an animal, but money, because money is obviously the root of all evil.
Of course. You
And
must
so,
sacrifice your monies.
yeah, and so once the sacrifice was cleansed and the curse is over, the money would be returned. So essentially, the service would be free.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Jude Devereaux was one of these sad women. From the outside, you would have never guessed because she was seemingly thriving. She was a New York Times best-selling author of romance novels.
Really?
None of her covers, though, did have Fabio. I did look. I looked at them all.
That is so funny. Did you know that? Do you remember Leela? She and her husband like took a picture at the beach or whatever,
Uh-huh.
slapped it on. Somebody reached out and they put her on the cover of their romance novel.
Maybe it was Jude Devereaux.
Maybe it was a really like smoking hot picture of like them, like just like.
Oh.
But she's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
So Jude Devereaux to date has written 82 books.
Oh my God. She
Mhm.
can't stop, won't stop.
In 1991, she was a fledgling romance powerhouse with just a measly 17 novels under her belt.
My God.
Just a measly 17.
Ugh.
But she was a millionaire nonetheless. So just raking in. She had, wait, hold on. I have to, did I write them down
And a
here? Or
millionaire
did I
back
put
there
them over
means
there?
A lot.
Means a lot of millionaire.
Yeah.
Like a million.
Means a lot different than a millionaire.
1,000
today.
millionaire now.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
I saw this one post. I'm a millionaire.
A millionaire?
A person who does not have millions.
Wait, hold on. Okay, so some of these names. There's a lot of velvet. There's the Raider, River Lady, the Temptress,
Ooh.
Counterfeit Lady,
Ooh.
the Heiress. She has a whole
They're all about
Series?
women. Yeah.
whole series with like velvet in the title, like
Uh-huh.
Highland Velvet Song, The Velvet Promise.
Wow.
I know.
Oh my God. She's got like, it's so crazy how she's so like romance novel minded, but she's like sad.
But maybe she's like living out her. I mean, I feel like every movie, again, obviously movies aren't real life. Every movie about a romance novelist is always like, I have a sad life full of no romance. And like, like
and
what's that movie?
Happens.
Lost City?
And with, I don't know.
With Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum, this is like right up your alley. Have I seen it and you've
Wait,
not
isn't
seen
that the funny one?
Yeah.
Lost City.
The Lost City and Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, we watched it. I don't remember it too much.
Oh, she's like a romance novelist and Channing Tatum is her Fabio.
Oh, yes. I remember.
Or Romancing the Stone. Have you ever seen Romancing the
ridiculous.
Stone?
Mm-mm.
You should 1,000% watch that.
If any of our listeners have seen Romancing the Stone, please reach out. I don't feel like I've ever heard of that in my life.
It's like a very famous movie.
What?
Yes, with like Michael Douglas and like
I love
Kathleen Turner, I think.
I don't know.
She's a romance novelist and she goes for like a trip to the jungle and they get, I don't know, sucked into some hijinks.
What? No.
It's like really good.
No,
because it's like an action. It's like basically The Lost City is like a remake basically of that. So you'd love it. Aldrich would love it. Actually, Aldrich has probably already seen it, to be honest.
No, he hasn't. Doubt it. Just on the title alone. Romancing the Stone.
Really?
No.
Oh my God, it's so good.
I know.
Okay. Anyway, Jude Deveraux, only 17 novels, still a millionaire though.
Crazy.
But she was on her second failing marriage to an emotionally abusive man and was desperate to get out and was devastated that she was unable to have children up until this point. So she was depressed and she couldn't see a way out. She was contemplating suicide. But when she reached out to Joyce Michael Astrology, she found a little bit of a lifeline. So inside, she was welcomed by Joyce Michael herself. And though she didn't really believe in psychics, she found her to be a really good listener and very comforting. So she found herself coming back.
Because that in itself is therapeutic. Like just being able to talk it out and like.
And someone like focusing all of their attention on
you. Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it.
I think that's kind of the draw. Like for a lot of times when we talk about like these like cults and these cult leaders is that one thing that they always feel like there are people. A lot of the people who fall for it, right, they're like, oh, no one had ever really seen me or given me that much attention. And though, I mean, it gets yucky and they like love bomb and then like withhold.
Yeah.
I think that there's like really something about
fulfilling that need
to be like heard and listened to and seen.
Right.
So on the third visit, Joyce told Jude, I can give you what you want, a peaceful divorce. She tells her that her husband will deliver divorce papers to her between 4 or 5 p.m. And surprisingly, that happened just as she said, like down to the time, which could be chalked up just to luck.
No, that is so specific.
It is very specific.
Did she like, she must have like held him at gunpoint.
No, I do think, so I have theories and I'll talk about it later, but I have theories about how some of these things play out.
Okay.
So she starts seeing Jude, she starts seeing Joyce 4 to 5 times a week. But little does she know that Joyce had hired a private investigator to look for clues into Jude's love life to help her with her predictions.
Oh, wow. She's so like mega invested.
I do think that Joyce has some sort of like intuitive power. But I think she also like
was like, hey,
leaned into other things as well.
I need to fill a few gaps here.
Yeah. So Joyce called, so she helps her with her predictions. Joyce even calls Jude in hysterics, insisting she needs to leave her apartment right away because her husband was coming to kill her.
Oh my God.
So she checks herself into a hotel, and when the coast was clear, she goes back home and asks a guy working in her building if he'd seen anything. He was like, yeah, your husband came by, and he was like the angriest I've ever seen him.
Oh my God. So yeah, no, she's got some crazy intuitive situation for sure.
Or she like knew something was up.
Damn.
Because she's got a PI watching him.
I
don't know. Either or.
So expensive.
Yeah, but if she's thinking that she's going to get millions out of this lady.
Yeah.
So Joyce tells Jude, whatever papers for the divorce, your husband will be dead in 3 years anyway, so just sign. It doesn't really matter. It'll all come back to you. Just sign him, get him out of the way. So Joyce is like, okay, And at this point, she's like a full believer.
Yeah.
Because Joyce has been so helpful, Jude asked her to work for her full time so she can have access to her anytime she wants.
Like a retainer almost, like a lawyer. Yeah.
Yeah. So Joyce says, yeah, for $1 million a year. And at first she said this is a joke, right? She's like, well, I told her $1 million a year was a total joke. But also she cashed $1 million checks for 17 years.
So she was like,
okay, never mind.
Chump change.
Yeah. The $1 million would be returned to her once the curse was broken, minus a few grand for the work Joyce had done. So she's like, I'll take a little bit off the top, but all of this will come back to you. Jude loses almost everything in the divorce. But it doesn't deter her from her $1 million yearly monthly payments to Joyce.
My God. Well, because she keeps cracking out more books.
And through the years, Joyce seems to be a loyal friend to Jude. She went to all of her IVF treatments with her, sat by her side through 8 miscarriages.
Ouch. Honestly, there's no pain like that.
Yeah. And then she encouraged her to sell her New York apartment because she envisioned her future child falling out of the 21st story window. And of course, she helped negotiate the sale and kept the money. And then in 1997, at the age of 50, Jude finally did have a son.
Via IVF, or did she do adoption?
IVF. She had him. Naturally.
Okay.
So any lingering doubts she might have had about Joyce at this point just melted away.
Yeah, forget it.
And
Everything
she's
that she said
a
is
good friend at this point too.
Yeah, they're intertwined.
So Jude moves out of New York and just adores her son, and his mere existence was proof of Joyce's power.
Yes.
Joyce had stoked the fire of belief by dropping little hints of the magnitude of her power. She apparently was a consultant for the FBI, Prince Charles, and the Pope.
Oh.
She said that she saved baby Jessica from the well. Remember baby Jessica?
No.
The little baby that fell in a well. It was like the highlight of the 80s.
No.
Oh, a little baby fell down a well. It took days to get her out.
Days? Where was this? Where's their well?
I don't know. I think
it's
like in
East
Texas
Coast
or something.
Yeah.
That
That
is
is
heard of baby
insane.
Jessica?
No.
Oh my God.
Could have been me.
I remember being terrified of just sewers because of baby Jessica.
That is so crazy. Honestly, no. I was scared of sewers, but for other reasons.
You might have been like maybe just born.
Just born. I'm an 86er.
So she also claimed that she orchestrated the 2000 Bush-Gore election recount and that the 1973 film The Exorcist was based on one of her cases.
Oh my God.
So she would just like drop these casually in conversation and just like let it go and just be like,
that was one of my guys. Oh.
You know,
Subtle here and there. And at this point, she's not going to be like, oh my God, no way. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Because she's just like, so believable. Like, it's like, big deal things are not a big deal.
Yeah, she was just like slowly incepting information that she would buy into her brain. So Jude was not super surprised when in 2001, Joyce says, I know who your next husband will be. Then Secretary of State Colin Powell. And Joyce recruited a client and friend, Debbie Von Bulen, to write Jude as Powell because she didn't know how to use a computer.
Oh my God.
They ended up settling on faxes. And so these love faxes went on for 4 years. Bulen as Colin Powell, Secretary of State Colin Powell, said he would divorce his wife and marry Jude and then become vice president. And then Debbie Von Bulen, testified later that she believed that this was part of a writing exercise.
That is
She was like, oh, yeah, I thought I was helping her out with like writing
exercises for this like very decorated author already. Like,
yeah,
get out of here.
But the faxes indicate that Jude did believe that she was talking to the real Colin Powell.
Well, yeah, because that's what she was told.
Yeah. In one email, I guess they switched to email, she complained about Joyce claiming that she hesitated to call her anymore because it was costing her hundreds of thousands of dollars to even just call her. And she was like, oh my God, Joyce is the worst.
What?
To Joyce. Or to Joyce as Colin Powell. Like, because Joyce was monitoring all of these.
Oh my God, that's so cringe.
I know.
That is so cringe.
It gets worse. By 2005, Joyce had drained all of Joyce's money. Joyce
money.
had drained all of Jude's money. She was living in North Carolina. Her son Sam was 8. He loved fishing and hunting and riding his motorized bike. But one night on October, he was riding after dark on a rural road and he was hit by a truck.
Fuck off. Really?
Mm-hmm. His death
Oh, no. That was my set. Okay.
obliterated Jude.
Yeah.
And Joyce was there to pick up the pieces. She arranged the funeral, arranged for the sale of Jude's North Carolina home, rented
Probably
her,
collected some money off of that, scraped some off the top for that.
arranged for her to rent an apartment in Florida where Joyce now lived because she was in Florida, took care of her, was like a pretty good friend to her during the time.
Minus the deceiving.
Minus the $1 million
theft.
that she was taking.
Yeah.
So it seemed that Joyce, once again, was proving to be a very good friend. But oh, fuck no, she was not.
Mm-mm.
Joyce told Jude that her husband had hired some real serious black magic people to curse Sam and his soul. And it was up to Joyce and Jude to save Sam's soul from damnation.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. So she says that she always knew that Sam would die, so she saved one of her embryos from the IVF treatments years earlier and implanted it into a virgin named Cynthia Miller. When she chose her because she looked like Grace Kelly, and she was like, I just wanted a beautiful son for you. And she looked like Grace Kelly, so I implanted this embryo in her. So she had just given birth to Sam's biological brother. Joyce arranged for Jude to be reincarnated into Cynthia's body when she died. So Jude changed her will, leaving everything to Cynthia because it was really just leaving it to herself.
This is crazy. This is insane. Your face tells me there's more.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
So Joyce tells Jude, always keep your doors unlocked. So then after you die, I can come get your belongings and bring everything over to you as Cynthia.
So wait, okay, so just so I understand, she has convinced Jude to essentially accept her own death and leave everything to Cynthia because that is new Jude.
Mm-hmm.
All because Cynthia is
a vessel for her.
Okay.
So Joyce takes Jude to the beach. And is like, look at that's Cynthia Miller and your son over there playing, but look how empty she is. She's just waiting for a soul, your soul.
Jesus Christ, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm. And so, I like, bitch, she's suicidal.
Yeah.
Like,
why mess with somebody like this?
Pushing it. Like, I think that she's like,
she's probably trying to get that revenge for talking all that shit.
No, I don't think. I think that she doesn't even care.
Okay.
But wait, there's more.
Oh.
She also told her that Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were having relationship issues and that Cynthia Miller had caught Brad Pitt's eye and they were secretly married. And all of a sudden she starts to get emails from Pitt, again, Debbie Von Bulen, from the email address
Brad Pitt at bradpitt.com.
Legend0999 at yahoo.com.
Oh my God, we should email it.
I wonder when we'll come back. I don't know. This is 2007.
I mean,
this isn't like the 90s.
No, it's not long ago.
You could have thought of a better email address.
Legend.
Even Brad Pitt at yahoo.com. B Pitt.
B_Pitt.
Yeah.
I mean, so many things, so many ways.
So many things, but Legend0999. So soon, Jude had hit rock bottom. She had no more money and was contemplating suicide again. She's living in a motel. And then on January 18th, 2008, Detective Charles Stack knocks on Jude's door and said he was investigating a psychic scammer by the name of Rose Marks. Jude was confused, and then he clarified that Rose Marks is the legal name of the woman she knows as Joyce Michaels.
Oh my God.
She did not believe him. She was like, there's no way that my really good friend for the past 17 years, and I've given millions of dollars, could be scamming me. He then mentions that Cynthia Miller, that virgin she's supposed to reincarnate to, is actually her daughter-in-law, Nancy Marks.
Oh my God.
and that she's also in on the scam.
You don't think that she actually impregnated her daughter-in-law?
No.
Okay, thank you. I needed that. Okay.
No, it was just
Bullshit.
her daughter-in-law had a baby.
Yeah,
and then she was like, that's your son.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
That.
And Jude said it was like someone hit her with a hammer and she realized like all at once, like I've been had.
Yeah. For a very long time.
For a very long time.
That's like the biggest rug from under your feet moment.
I know.
I mean, I know a lot of my friends for 17 years, and if any one of them were like scamming me, I just wouldn't. You can't.
Mm-mm.
That is so crazy.
I know. It's gross. So Charlie Stack was the only detective at the Fort Lauderdale Police Department that had a degree in accounting, so he was the only member of the fraud investigations unit. His stack of files was stacked so high, he was drowning in Ponzi schemes and mortgage fraud. And in 2007, his boss gave him a case involving fortune telling. And he said it took like everything in his power not to roll his eyes.
Because it just sounds like so dumb compared to like everything else that's on his desk.
And he was like an Irish Catholic son of a New York City cop. So he was like a very no bullshit kind of guy. And so he's getting into the case and he sees that real people's lives have been ruined and it starts to like piss him off.
Good.
And so the complaint was directed at Joyce Michael Astrology. A woman had given her thousands of dollars under the expectation it would be returned, but it never was. And the complaint originated in New York, but then the money was moved through a complex series of accounts. But the biggest deposits of those funds were to Rose Marks and Joyce Michael. And they were taking millions and millions of dollars per year. So Jude wasn't the only person.
No, she couldn't have been.
And a lot of Stack's colleagues thought it was like pretty dumb. They were like, no one put a gun to anyone's head and took their money. They gave it willingly.
Yeah.
But Stack was like, no, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than just a few $1,000s. So he coordinates with the U.S. Attorney's Office and the Secret Service, and they launch a full investigation.
Oh my God.
Called.
Go on.
Operation Crystal Ball.
Oh, I like it.
I know.
Operation Crystal Ball.
I know. I love it so much. I need a shirt that just says
Operation Crystal Ball.
Rose Marks, they found out, was born into a second-generation Roma family and was very closely tied to their roots. So she grew up learning about the mystical arts, fortune-telling from a long line of psychic matriarchs in New Jersey. Her family pulled her out of school when she was 8, and she was mostly taught how to be a good wife and a good daughter-in-law and how to tell fortunes. Like, that was it. And Rose had 2 arranged marriages that didn't work out well, but eventually married a man named Nicholas Marks and had 3 kids with him. She was the breadwinner of the family, and this lady just fucking hustled.
Yeah, she's hustling.
So you have to kind of admire the hustle of it all if it weren't for, like, the life-destroying consequences.
Yeah. If it wasn't for her taking just everybody down with along the way.
And honestly, she probably, and so my theory is that she did probably have a gift. But
she had to have.
Once that gift turned into like the yuck, I feel like, and then she started using other ways to like manipulate.
Gift. Yeah.
So silly. It gives psychics a bad name.
Yeah.
So eventually they earned enough money, Rose Marks did, to buy a second home on the beach in Florida. They opened up even more storefronts and then filled them with her sisters, nieces, daughters-in-law, granddaughters.
Oh my God. It is a family hustle
operation. And she had expensive taste, like fancy glass-walled beach house, vintage Rolls Royces.
Oh, Shania.
I feel like anyone who drives a Rolls Royce, I don't know if I trust at all.
I don't want anything to do with a Rolls Royce.
You can't trust a person who drives a Rolls Royce. Sorry if you do have one, but I don't know if I can trust you.
Why do you have one?
Yeah.
There's just so much money.
Yeah. So Stack raided their trash constantly and would find like Cartier and Tiffany boxes and just like the fanciest of the fancy. And in the early 2000s marked a huge change in Rose's demeanor. In the span of 3 years, she lost her parents, her husband, and her grandson. So she turned to pills, drinking, and gambling. And in the 4 years after the deaths, she lost over $9 million gambling at the Hard Rock.
What?
at the Hard Rock.
Yeah,
too.
it's not something I would have seen coming.
No. So she started staying back behind the scenes, pushing her clients harder for more money to keep up with the gambling, which is
why she's making all these dumb,
which is when she started the Colin Powell stuff and started like getting a little bit shadier. I mean, she was already pretty shady, but like
no, but she turned it up.
Yeah, she like turned it to 11. As Stack surveilled the Marks family, he noticed they operated kind of like a mob family. Like everyone had code names, they acted super dodgy. And then as he interviewed other victims, he grew more livid with each one.
Good.
There was a lawyer from England whose husband refused to have children with her, then died and left his frozen sperm to a much younger woman. So she paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to get at Lord knows what. There's a Japanese woman who had brain cancer that she had on the hook, dangling a psychic cure for so much money that she was losing her home. There was another woman who wanted to get her ex-husband back, and when she died, her family were shocked to find out she'd given all of her money away and left nothing for them.
Oh my God.
There was another person that said they were told to buy a vacuum because the spirits just wanted a new one.
What?
Like buy a new one for this, like for the fortune teller. They were like,
keep
her
the
spirits want a new vacuum.
Keep the spirits happy.
But all of the hooks were the same. The woman would come crying. They would ask for an item. They would return it to build trust.
Yeah.
And then tell them they're cursed. They would ask for a very specific amount of money because money, again, root of all evil.
Yeah.
And there would be like some sort of like, you need to give 5,000 because because 5 is your number. And this is your number of whatever. So they would instruct them to be patient while they cleanse the money. If they asked for the money back before it's cleansed, all would be undone. And they would need to be completely hush-hush about it.
That is so crazy.
Like the spirits would know if you told anybody about this, and then all would be undone.
And honestly, at this point, I mean, everybody, like, she's presented herself in such a way that, of course, they believe her. Mm-hmm. Like, of course, they're all in.
Well, and they trust because they're like, well, I gave them something. And they gave it back.
And they gave it back. So must be.
So as the weeks went on, she would love bomb her clients. And then with a sense of urgency by like, hurry to the bank, we need to cleanse more. And then she would
cleanse more to the bank.
And then she would be like, well, if you aren't that serious about it, then like, what's even the point? Then just
like,
be
why
cursed.
are we doing this?
I don't care. It's not, if you want to be cursed, then be cursed. Like she would like be hot with that.
Yeah.
But you know how that like reels people
also,
in
like,
because then it puts
intimidating.
Responsibility on you.
Yeah.
And then when people eventually wanted their money back, she would say that she had to sacrifice it or only the Archangel Michael knows where it is.
I mean,
I know.
But I'm saying, like, that's the shit that's going to get you caught, too.
I know. Well, and it seems unbelievable, but in grief and pain and loneliness, people are looking for a lifeline.
Literally anything.
Sometimes it's a cult. Sometimes it's a scammer or a religion or some other kind of like secular thing.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what made them so vulnerable is that they were looking for
any answers. Like, I'm ready to go get my energy healed just to get, you know what I mean?
That's us right now.
That
going
is
to
us.
Get our energy healed via 80s computers, what I imagine.
I mean, that's probably what it's probably bigger than that thing.
I know.
It's probably bigger than this 2x3 box. But honestly, I'm like willing to see if it works because I'm wanting to get rid of my, tension headaches.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We're going to do it. We'll report back.
Shake the
our energy healing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Jude Devereaux ended up working with Detective Stack and going undercover for him, playing along and recording every phone call. And one phone call that was played at her trial, Jude asked for her money back, and Marks tells her she can't because it burned up during 9/11. It was in the Twin Towers.
It was in the Twin Towers. Oh my God. So when she thinks of this shit, at what point is she like, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to go with this week. This is the stall tactic I'm going to use this week, or this is what I'm going to use,
Yeah.
She's totally going to believe this. That's crazy.
I mean, at what point? I mean, I guess it's like what, 2000 and no, it's not that. What year was No, that was 2001. That's so much longer. I was like, maybe 9/11 was fresh. No, it was not
it
fresh.
Wasn't. So she held on to that money.
She held on. Well, and she held on. She kept that
quote.
It's in the Twin Towers.
It's
for
in
how
the Twin
long?
Yeah. Oh, that old thing. I forgot to tell you about what happened.
I forgot to tell you when it
ago.
happened. Yeah. Ooh. do. So in 2011, Stack finally finishes the investigation and arrested Rose Marks and her family on August 16th. They were charged with 61 counts of wire fraud, mail fraud, conspiracy to commit mail fraud and wire fraud, and money laundering.
My God. That's very satisfying.
Yeah, all 8 members of her family pled guilty and got basically like slaps on the wrist. House arrest, probation, on top of restitution or whatever. But then Rose maintained her innocence and eventually went to trial. The trial was wild. And the judge was so annoyed by all these wealthy, well-educated women making seemingly foolish decisions. That when the federal prosecutor mentioned her like, quote, sophisticated schemes, he was like, it's ridiculous. It's absurd. How is it sophisticated? This completely ridiculous story that some people actually believed or were convinced to believe were possible or true. He was like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah,
this
no,
is so stupid.
Absolutely. He's like, convincing stories. What convincing story? I've yet to hear a convincing story.
Know. So despite the judge's bias, she was found guilty on all counts.
Good.
The jury was like, man.
Yeah.
So she was sentenced to 10 years in prison where she got her GED and wrote a book. And then Jude and Charlie Stack became really good friends. He got Jude into boxing and now she writes murder mysteries.
Ooh.
And she said, now she's like, I've got a lot of anger and now I can kill whoever I want.
Oh my God, that is so funny. She really can in her books. In her books.
Yes. And so in the spring, so the reason why I wanted to do this story is that not necessarily, it doesn't relate back directly to yoga, but I think in being in a very like woo-woo, like kind of metaphysical space,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're obviously open to like energy
Mm-hmm.
and intuition, and that kind of feeds into this. And in the spring of 2019, the New York Times ran a story called, quote, Psychic Mediums Are the New Wellness Coaches. And then they did another one called Venture Capital is Putting Its Money into Astrology, which I have all those apps.
Oh my God, yes.
You know, so I was like, I feel like that's like us.
Yeah.
But so in order to research, so I have to also say that, like, I do believe in psychics. I wasn't sure that I did, but I did a bunch of research. Jess was here for this, but I did a bunch of research on psychics and psychic frauds and how a lot of like mediums or psychics, they can read people in order to give them the answers that they're looking for, but maybe aren't necessarily authentic.
Right. Like they could give like general answers, perhaps.
Yeah, like very general. And then they like kind of come to the specific based on just like logic and being able to read people. So I went to a psychic. When was that? Like a month ago?
That was not even a month ago.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I went to a psychic and I definitely was like, I'm going to give her nothing. And you know what? She was fucking awesome.
I can't believe it.
She pulled a name out of nowhere that I was like, and in the right context too, that I was like, what the fuck?
And this is a very specific name.
And the situation was very specific.
Very specific.
So I was like, mind blown a little bit. So
I honestly, like, I've always been too like scaredy cat to go see a psych because I'm feeling like
Jess thinks that they're gonna be like, you're gonna die tomorrow.
Impending doom. I'm dying tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like I'm also the guy that like self-diagnoses myself like however many
you're
times a year.
Self-diagnose yourself with death.
Yeah, usually. And so I was like, I don't know that I could handle it, but I honestly am like really open to it. Did you get their information?
Yeah, I did. So I was talking to Raquel Cohen, and if I'll put her info in the show notes, but Raquel Cohen, she is an intuitive medium and a friend, and she's the best.
She's
and
incredible.
So we were talking recently about maybe doing an episode together about like TikTok psychic frauds.
Oh, my
which would
God.
be really fun.
That would be really
but
good.
I have a lot of questions. I've been trying to like clear it. Like I've been asking her questions about, you know, some red flags, and there's a lot of like energetics involved with just like reading people and like consent, and it's really interesting. So we'll do a follow-up with that because I couldn't pull it together enough to have her here for this today because obviously we played hooky.
Yeah,
and,
we keep playing hooky. It's kind of
we were supposed to record this days ago.
Like
last week.
Like
last
a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here we are.
But you know, this is life.
I know. This is kind of
This is way more fun.
Oh, way more fun.
Instead of like, yeah, I'm telling you.
It's not 11 p.m.
No, exactly. Where
How
we're like on
energetic are we?
fumes.
I know.
We're like productive humans right now.
I know.
It's
Look at us. I cleaned my fridge out exterior.
I didn't, but I dropped my kids off at school, had a quick little doctor's appointment, and I'm here. It's
Nice.
so cool. Yeah.
I know. All right, what should we call this one?
Operation Crystal Fall. Operation. I don't know. Operation.
Operation.
I know. Operation Crystal.
Oh wait, there was another thing I was gonna.
What?
This is so stupid. We might have to cut this.
What?
This might have to be bonus.
Okay.
I have a list of books of romance title names. Some of them are real, some of them are not.
Okay, let's do it. I need to. She just made them up. You just went.
No, some are from movies.
Oh,
Some are not. Where the Wolf Leads.
fake.
Real.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Where the wolf leads?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Some animalistic
The
shit.
Savage Secret.
Real.
Fake.
What? It was like almost too good. Okay. The Savage Secret.
Emily's Magical Bejeweled Codpiece.
What? Fake. No. First of all, it's very long.
Tudor historian Emily discovers the costume department of the museum contains a secret door to the court of King Henry VIII. An adventure awaits.
Okay.
Grace Before Meat.
That's so ridiculous that it's real.
It's real.
Oh my God.
The Reverend John Alford is a regular at his village butcher. But one day, a new apprentice arrives in the form of a beautiful Emily Bones. Oh, is this the same girl? Oh, I don't know.
Emily Bones.
Emily Bones. And love blossoms
Emily.
over the lamb shanks.
Over the lamb shanks. That's ridiculous. Oh my God, we could go on forever.
I know. A match made of space.
Fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's from Back to the Future.
What? When?
What? George McFly's romance novel. Or maybe it's not a romance novel. It's when he comes back from the future.
Yeah.
He's like, my book came in.
Oh. Fair.
Oh, okay. That was good enough. I don't think we could top Grace Before Meat.
No. Honestly, some of these
Or
novels are
Emily's
just so ridiculous.
Magical Bejeweled Codpiece.
That's the one that had me fucked up. I'm like, I can't even wrap my head around something like that. It's long. Very specific.
I know. I feel like this one needs to be called something having to do with velvet.
Operation
Velvet
Marks.
Robes. Velvet Rose. Operation
Velvet Rose.
That sounds like it is a romance
That
title.
is a romance novel.
What do you think the cover looks like?
It's red, but like a deep, deep red.
And there's like, no, it looks like a satin. It's like it's a rose with like the satin where it looks like all
the Beauty and the Beast
Or there's
rose
like a woman. Yeah. Or there's a woman with like a hood, like a druid.
with a rose.
Yeah. With a rose.
With a rose when they're looking down.
Yeah. And in the background, there's like the Highlands.
In the background, there's crystal balls
Crystal balls.
everywhere. Just ball.
I'm imagining other
That
crystal
video.
balls. What video?
When I was thinking the balloons, the balloon video, the dance video.
Sharikyo, but it's a bunch of balls?
Yes. That was ridiculous.
Crystal balls, not testicles.
Operation Crystal Ball. Operation
Velvet
Marks.
Velvet Rose.
Velvet.
I don't know.
I
don't know. I'm gonna use Midjourney. I'm gonna find the perfect romance novel cover for this.
I'm sure there's a like an app for that.
Midjourney.
Oh.
Did I ever tell you? That's what I used for
just me.
Our YouTube things that I've never done. Okay. Anyways, let's wrap it up. Please, if you are interested in supporting our podcast, we want to keep doing this. So if you are interested and want a shout out, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/spirituallyfucked. We'd really appreciate it. If not that, then if you could rate and review us, that would really, really help.
That would be amazing.
To keep us going.
Yeah.
You can follow us on Instagram at Spiritually Effed Podcast for mostly all the pictures on the show notes. We usually post pictures for everything. I'm pretty good about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is it. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. Happy Galentine's.
Oh yeah, happy Galentine's.
But like, I almost went into something. Never mind.
Yep.
Don't even. Bow it out.
Bow it out. All right. Bye.
Bye.